Hello, welcome to my video. This is one that I figured I should tackle pretty early on, and I've got some notes here. This is going to be about why I tend to shy away from organized religion, belief systems, both ancient and modern, um, and why I instead embrace transcendental mysticism. The waters of religion and religious belief have always been fairly muddy, from constant uh, translations and retranslations, different interpretations and reinterpretations. Um, and a lot of those interpretations were of beliefs that we don't know that much about because either a culture didn't have a language or that language is dead to us now. Even the languages that we have now are now vastly changed from the time when many of these religions came about. Um, I often think about how uh, Proto-Indo-European uh, belief systems. We barely know anything at all about those pagan. Those were the pagan belief systems that arguably replaced them in early Europe, and then Christianity came out of the Middle East, and it kind of it met with Greek and Roman mythology, and Christianity undebatably won out, but both beliefs were forever changed. Roman Catholicism is not the same as original Christianity. Um, and then the Romans came down and they brought Christianity down to the Anglo-Saxon tribes and the Celts, Gaelics, and it again turned into Christianity won out in the end, but uh, remained forever changed by its melting. It was altered by those belief systems. And so it gets to a point where you have to wonder if the average United States American Christian, when they say Jesus, if they're even talking about the man uh, who was wrote about back in those days. It may be a completely different conceptualization. And I think conceptualizations are more important than the cold hard facts of the historical accounts. Uh, I think it's interesting to question if we really understand the way the old ancient polytheistic religions were understood by the people who believed them. Because I was saying because we have Hinduism today. Hinduism is one of the world's largest religions. I have a copy of the book. It's actually called The World's Religions by Houston Smith, and the way he explains the belief system of the Hindu sects, he he never really mentions like the pantheon of gods, the soap opera of uh, of the mythologies, but that's all we have left of uh, ancient Egypt, um, Greek, Roman, Celtic, all these mythologies. All we have left is the cold, hard historical account, and uh, I think we're missing a lot from that. And this isn't to argue for polytheism, it's just to illustrate how over time things can be lost in the shuffle. I think we can find truth in everything. It's always right in front of our face. While religious spiritual belief systems are a great tool, it can add to your toolkit and prepare you for deeper spiritual connection and spiritual immersion. Um, we tend to get fixated on the story of the thing, the names, the places, the events, how it all went down. We take that all. Uh, we take that all much more seriously, and a lot of people believe it wholeheartedly without ever comprehending the abstract nature of what underlies those belief systems. Yeah, I don't even like to think of them as metaphors or parables because they still cannot convey the concepts which they try to. They merely personify uh, the um I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, but now Alan Watts he had a quote. He said the idea of God is a finger pointing toward God, but most people don't follow the finger; they suck it for comfort, and that's kind of the concept that I'm trying to explain in this video. This isn't to say I don't find any value in these stories and these dogmas. I think everybody's going through a soul journey, a spiritual journey. Everybody's got their own way up the mountain, and I think it's important to let people choose their way up the mountain. I guess. So if it helps people, if it's a gateway for people to grow and learn, then I think it's ultimately good. But I feel like true spiritual growth is gained from our own experience, our own insights, and our own relationship with the universe. When I say the universe, I mean God. Some people call it the All, Brahma, Godhead, the divine. Um, I, I honestly don't know what I prefer to call it. It's beyond words, but everybody has their own conceptualization of that thing. I consider myself to be a transcendental mystic, and what I mean by that is it doesn't mean I ignore or disregard the teachings of others or that I don't seek to gain knowledge from the outside world, the world outside my skin, but ultimately the answers they only exist outside of myself because they exist within myself. Uh, uh, what is outside is a reflection of what is inside. And I am able to the exact same extent to manifest those answers from within myself as I am to manifest them from without. Okay, so when we ascribe to a rigid dogma, we are ultimately limiting our relationship with the divine forces and therefore limiting our knowledge base. We're limiting our power source. We're limiting our own growth. It's like putting a plant in too small of a pot, and some plants don't grow if they're in too small of a pot. They stop growing. Other plants might die. Uh, Anytime you find yourself following a holy man, a guru, or some spiritual authority, you are ascribing to that person's relationship with the divine, not your relationship, that person's. And when we have organized religions, it's usually not even really that person's relationship with the divine. It is somebody else's, usually a long time ago, handed down over and over and over and over. And it's so far disconnected from the relationship you could be having with the universe. Um, and so instead of becoming a third party to another person's relationship with the divine, uh, unless that's a game that your soul would like to play in this lifetime, uh, I would suggest that you break away from those relationships, or outgrow them, shed them away, maybe like a skin, or you ultimately won't get to where you're destined to make it. All right. The only other thing that I can say is if anybody is out there feeling down about themselves, if you're feeling like you're not good enough, if you're feeling like it's you against the world, it's you against everybody else, if you're feeling othered out at all, just remember that small people. There are people with small people. There are people with small minds. They have small thoughts. They're closed, and they are allergic to anything that makes them uncomfortable. And that could be anything that they don't understand. Anything from just anything really, and people are out here, they're confused, they're in pain, they don't know themselves, and all they've got to go on is what's out here in the world these days. So don't take anything people tell you personally, don't take it to heart, because we're all out here learning to be a lot meaner than we need to be. And it I know it's hard, but um, the way to stop that is to not reflect it. So to not let that resonate off of you, not repeat that ripple. Um, it can stop with you. It takes work, but you don't have to. You don't have to keep the ripples going. All right. I think that's all I've got to say about this. I gotta work on. I don't know. I haven't really talked to people much in a while. I'm wondering if my lips are a little lazy. Eh. Well, I'll get practice, I guess. All right. I hope this video does somebody some good. I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.